Hello everyone. So you might know, but I am in Ireland with my family, all 5 of us. We haven't been on a Hampstead family trip in quite a long time, but we are in Dublin right now. We have been for a couple of days, but we're staying with my grandma's first cousin, so I just haven't filmed really because we've been doing a lot of family reunions, a lot of meeting people for the first time. Yesterday we actually met maybe 20, maybe a little bit more of our third cousins. So it's been like incredibly special, and I shared a little bit on Instagram, but we went on this Nana Mary tour, which is essentially going to a bunch of places that my great grandma and her parents and her sisters grew up, their home, their school. But it's been wonderful. My sister and I have actually have been to Ireland, have done the Nana Mary tour before, but I was really young and I definitely didn't understand how special it was at the time. But being back here with my mom, it's been absolutely incredible, and I'm so glad to be here. But it's our last full day in Dublin, at least till the end of the trip. We're ending our trip back here again. I haven't chatted to you all in quite a while, but we left Dublin very early yesterday morning, picked up our car and drove to Belfast, and stayed here last night. We were actually up very early again because we are heading out again to our next spot. But yesterday we did the Titanic Museum, which was pretty incredible. I thought it would be a little bit lame, but they did a really great job, and it's massive. And then we did another tour. We're in a little bit of a hostel area, so I think we are looking forward to going to our next destination, but it's just after 6 a.m. We're packing our stuff. We're going to repack the car, and then we're heading to up north. So we're making it's going to be a big driving day, but we're making a lot of stops along the way. But kind of our main destination at the midday will be the Giant's Causeway, and then we're making our way to County Mayo, which will be our stop for the night. I think the next 2 nights. I think the next place we're staying for more than 1 night, which is nice. We can actually unpack and relax a little bit. But it's been pretty great. Yesterday was a big car day, and we had a little bit of a hiccup because my dad has not driven like a stick shift or a manual car in, he says, 25 years. So there was a little bit of anxiety going on, but he's great. He got right back into the swing of things. Places we're going, I'm trying to pack with multiple layers because it's very windy and very cold, and then all of a sudden I'm sweating. So I'm trying to pack accordingly in my backpack. I'm gonna go wake the peeps, but like I said, the car is a stick shift, so we thought my mom and dad would be splitting the driving. But actually it's just my dad doing all the driving, so we have to pace him accordingly and get him well caffeinated. Actually, yesterday I had a little bit of a breakdown because I couldn't find just straight black coffee anywhere, and that's what I need to just like inject into my veins. So I was having like multiple lattes with like double shots of espresso to try to fill that void, and it just did not hit the spot. I will try to check in with you later, but today's going to be quite a grand day. We're making a bunch of stops, a bunch of pit stops, going to a few Game of Thrones set locations, which, if you know me, is a dream. But I have my hunter boots for the ride. Hi everyone. So we are in a different location now. Yesterday was the drive all the way from Belfast to County Mayo. We stopped at a bunch of different places. We stopped at Carrifergus Castle. We stopped at Cushendom, where we just got lunch, walked around. It's one of those fairy tale towns. It was beautiful. We saw a lot of sheep. But actually my dad, bless his heart, is the only one who's able to drive because there was a mix-up with the car rental and it's a stick shift. So my mom doesn't know how to drive stick and she's not going to learn on the other side of the road. But it's really beautiful here. I think, like, obviously Dublin was super busy because we were seeing a lot of family. Belfast, we had a lot of different tours. Now that we have a car, we have a little bit more flexibility. But like my brother and I we're going to go on a hike today. We're going to hike Croagh Patrick. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's, I think, like a 4-hour hike. And I've dressed for like all different seasons because I'm just not sure. I was freezing yesterday, then I was sweating, the whole thing. And also I haven't figured out the shower situation. That's why I'm still doing these braids. But after the hike today, I'm going to have to figure that out. I twisted it and a piece fell off. Luckily we have another shower here. It's just like my parents' shower, but I might be borrowing it. So we're doing the hike today, and then we want to go into the town today and see some live music this evening, which we saw live music when we were in Dublin with my family members, and it was, I haven't seen live Irish music or dancing in a really long time. My parents went to a show on St. Patrick's Day, but I had something so I wasn't able to go. But it was the most nostalgic and beautiful thing. Like, all of the songs that the band was performing are the songs that my grandpa used to sing around the house. And every single Sunday my mom, I'm not sure what station it is, but my mom puts on like the Irish station and plays all of those songs like on high volume every single Sunday, which we usually end up complaining because it gets a little bit old. But it was like, we were all crying at the show just to hear the songs that my grandpa sang. Yes, we're going to go get breakfast because the wonderful lady here is actually serving breakfast, which is so kind. We didn't even know that. I've been surviving off of almonds and Cliff Bars and bananas because all of the little pit stops that we made only had like deli meat or like sandwiches with like chicken salad sandwiches. Yeah, I've had a repulsive amount of Cliff Bars. I'm gonna go meet up with my family, go get breakfast, and begin the day on another glorious hike. We got downpoured on yesterday at the Giant's Causeway, which is actually like kind of how I wanted it to be. It was just so dramatic and so romantic. But we were talking about how, you know, you want, when you go to these places that look like they're out of like a fairy tale book or a movie, you want to feel the drama of the setting. But then we were frigid in the car and all of us were on top of each other, so like we barely dried off in the 4-hour drive. And Tippy Peak is where we're headed. We're on Inishmore today, which is one of the Aran Islands, and there was this little shop, and this woman was hand crocheting all of these pieces, and I found this beautiful hat. She had just finished it, and she had placed it on my head and showed me exactly how to wear it. I'm sure I've mussed it by now because we've been biking, but one of the most amazing things about Inishmore is there's so many people here who are speaking Irish, and just to hear the language is so incredibly wonderful. But yeah, we're gonna catch the ferry back and be on our way, and hopefully not do any physical exercise for the next couple of days until our legs recover, but I've gotten a little bit of sun being out. Time for a book haul. So I picked up these books when we were in Westport, part of County Mayo. We went to a couple of bookstores, one that was a rare bookstore, and I found Sarah Moss's The Fell. It's a signed edition, which I haven't read anything by Sarah Moss yet, but if I become a fan, that will be cool. At dusk on a November evening in 2020, a woman slips out of her garden gate and turns up the hill. Kate is in the middle of a 2-week quarantine period, but she just can't take it anymore. The closeness of the air in her small house, the confinement, and anyway, the moor will be deserted at this time. Nobody need ever know. But Kate's neighbor Alice sees her leaving, and Matt, Kate's son, soon realizes she's missing. And Kate, who planned only a quick solitary walk, a breath of open air, falls and badly injures herself. What began as a furtive walk has turned into a mountain rescue operation. Unbearably suspenseful, witty and wise, The Fell asks probing questions about the place the world has become since March 2020 and the place it was before. Sarah Moss's novel is a story about compassion and kindness and what we must do to survive. So I'm really, really excited about this one. Then the other two are a little bit more niche, I guess you could call them. But being here, there are so many myths and fairy tales that are connected to a lot of the places that we're going to, and I just wanted to know more about them. My mom told us little bits and pieces, but I wanted to know the full scope of the fairy tales, so I picked up 2 Irish fairy tale and myth books. This one is very readable, so I started with this one. I'm like 1 or 2 stories in, but they're just really fun. It talks about banshees, leprechauns, wizards, and short stories and fable cover the entire spectrums of Ireland's myths and legends. So it goes into Giant's Causeway, Cuchulainn, Finn McCool. So a lot of the places we're going, like obviously Giant's Causeway we've been to, and apparently, or the story is that it was made by warring giants fighting over a giantess's love. Something to that effect. And then one that's a little bit more, I don't know the word, it's like just turned 7 a.m. guys. But this one is a little bit more challenging to read, but it's a Legendary Ireland, Myths and Legends of Ireland. So this one, sorry, I don't know if you can even see the books. Each chapter, each short story or myth opens up with first the history of the geological place. So Giant's Causeway gives you a background on it, why it's so famous, sometimes like the geological history of it, like how it came to look this way, which is probably my favorite to read. I really love to, I was never a science kid, but I think it's really cool to see or to understand how these places came to be this way, these geological marvels. So, and then it gets into the different stories, but it has pictures and different archaeological pictures. Actually, right now we are in Dublin, which is probably my favorite place that we've been so far. It's quaint, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and right now I'm sitting on this, I have my little setup over there on this rocky beach, and right behind me is actually the Cliffs of Moher, which is quite dramatic, but it's true. Yesterday we went out on the classic boat tour to see the cliffs from above, and it was absolutely glorious. But then today we are doing the hike. It's like an 8-mile hike up to the Cliffs of Moher, to the highest point. So we got a good rest for our legs yesterday. We actually, where did we even stay? I don't even remember. Yesterday we were in Galway, in the city, for a really short amount of time. I think we were a little bit cityed out, and if I'm honest, I much prefer places like this, more on the coast or more rural. I think that's what makes it feel warm and cozy, and I get enough city at home. I'm reading A Place of Greater Safety by Hilary Mantel, and I'm enjoying it. It's nothing to Cromwell, to the Cromwell trilogy, but I'm really enjoying it. I love her style.
I love her writing. She makes her characters like you're drawn to these people, and she really I think one of her strongest attributes as a writer is that she really forms her character's whole personality, not like bits and pieces to like drive the plot forward. She really gives you everything and then continues the plot, even like the way they stand, the way that they might gaze at someone, the way that they might interact with different people. Like you can really see it all. I'm gonna go read. I'll show you my little spot.
This is actually our Airbnb, is that White House right there. So, pretty good view. Okay, this house deserves its own mini tour. It is a stone cottage. There's china and books everywhere. I mean, our shit is already everywhere, but there's bookcases everywhere. Every little corner is a little reading nook or study nook. Look at this, more books. And then we have this little nook off of our room with a little writer's desk. And a beautiful garden. And then we go down the full stone hallway, and the entire family room is stone. And then this is my parents' room, which is so beautiful, and all the furniture is, I need to wash my hair. That's what vacation is. And this is the garden, and to the right there's a whole stone pathway leading up to the top of the garden, but there are so many little nooks. See, another shelf. So many nooks for coffee in the morning. Even this light fixture I'm loving. Okay, in the last spot I will take you, in very short ceilings, and then this is the kitchen. And that's the garden outside. Finally doing laundry. And then Dad's very sunburned face. Dad! It's to die. And let's show the garden. How do you show the garden? Another little area.
And there's a pathway that goes up here we have to explore.
Yeah. I'm going through one of their many, many bookcases and found the coolest edition of The Beach by Alex Garland, which I just read last month. But I love the cover of this. Let's see what else we can find.
This is huge. You have to say I wasn't anticipating. We haven't eaten all day because we've been in the car. And show Meg. All caught today. They ran out of most things. It's so hot. My fingers are burning. No. So we are off to our next place today. We are nearing the end of this beautiful trip, but I'm soaking up the last few hours in this beautiful dream home of mine. I've been like going through all of the books. They have this beautiful edition of Anne of Green Gables, which I just read, and this property actually does have a babbling brook, and it is quite romantical. But yeah, they just are like, this house is
covered in beautiful editions of classics, some contemporary books, a lot I've never heard of, but it is an absolute beautiful house, and I sent Marco a picture of the backsplash and said, remember this for many years down the line, because this is my dream backsplash. But today we are heading to, we're taking a boat to Skellig Michael, which is one of Ireland's UNESCO World Heritage Sites, to see, I believe it's quite an intense walk or hike up a flight of stairs, and then you get to the beehive huts that monks used to live in, and it's supposed to be really incredible, so I'm very excited for that. But I do think my dad is nearing his wit's end with the driving. There were a few moments yesterday on like these really gorgeous windy roads, and there were a few moments where we were almost shoved into a cliff face or into a gully because of big tour buses. So he was a little bit shaken. I'm wearing a beautiful wool sweater that I treated myself to, which was quite an expensive treat yourself moment. I don't usually do that, but it's wool, and it's undyed, and it's hand knit by a lovely woman named Miss O'Brien. I couldn't read her first name on the card, but it was made right here, and they stay in really good condition if you take care of them, so I feel like I'll have this for quite a long time. And like, sweaters are my favorite piece of clothing, but it's like this deep dark chocolate, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm feeling super cozy. It's pretty cold today, but I'm just out in the back garden. But something very cool happened. We were in Aran the other day, which is like this beautiful thatched cottage town, one tiny town in 2016. My mom was very impressed. But we were at a little breakfast place, and Maria Doyle Kennedy was there, and she plays Catherine of Aragon in The Tudors, which, if you know me, I've watched that show many times. My mom and sister have both watched that show, and she's beautiful, like so beautiful. We were all just like peeking out, looking at her. We didn't say anything because we don't want to bug her on her holiday, but that was like an ideal celebrity sighting for me. I am just sitting out here still chugging along with what is this called? A Place of Greater Safety by Hilary Mantel. I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of names. I feel like there are even more names in this book than in the Cromwell trilogy, which might not actually be true. I think I was more familiar with a lot of the names in the Cromwell trilogy, so I wasn't learning as many new people, and their roles and their titles and their backgrounds, whereas in here I know like 2 of the people. There's a lot going on, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a little bit more chaotic, or not chaotic, just a little bit messier than maybe the Cromwell trilogy, and I think that's because we're following more people closely, whereas the Cromwell trilogy was really focused on him and then the people who circled him, whereas here we're following a bunch of different men and the people around them, and eventually they all do converge and their lives get entangled, and a lot of the people are the same people, but it's just a little bit more, we're bouncing around a little bit more, and it's a little bit more piecemeal. But I do feel like I'm learning a lot because I don't really know that much about the French Revolution. I got the bare minimum that we learn in school, but beyond that I haven't really studied it. But I'm enjoying myself. You may notice I've let my hair be natural for most of this trip. I think I did it once in Dublin because it went with the outfit, but I don't want to blow any of the plugs. It's a little bit crazy, a little bit messy, but I'm just trying to let it be and embrace the natural wave curls, knots, whatever really happens. It's a day-by-day thing. Okay, it is officially our second to last night in Ireland, and it's the moment my entire family and I have been waiting for. My dad requested one thing for the entire trip, and that was to somehow, some way, stay in a castle. And we've made it happen. It's a little bit extravagant, but it is our one night to live out all of our dreams. So I'm going to do a full tour of this castle. We didn't realize how big it is. It's like a tower castle, so there's a lot of floors, a lot of very bendy staircases, but I want to try to capture this because I'll never have an experience like this again, I'm sure of it. And I'm like dying inside. My like nerd medieval self can hardly bear the excitement, and I'm just gonna show you the castle. So this is it. It's like a turret style castle. Okay. So we walk in, and I'll do the kitchen first. So this is one of the dining rooms, and there's a lot of medieval weaponry happening. A lot of amazing art throughout the place too. But this is one of the dining rooms, and then the kitchen is like modernized, obviously. We really just bought snacks and beer and fruit, but they actually do have a full working kitchen. But then we begin the climb, and I'm sure I'm going to quickly become out of breath. But there's a lot of these very tight, narrow, bendy staircases, and I'm sure my voice is now echoing a lot, so I'm sorry if that's killing your ears. But then we have a bunch of these little windows throughout, and we enter the first bedroom. So the kids are gonna draw straws on but there's a cannon in the bedroom. And then it's all stone walls. It's so cool. So this is one of the bedrooms with such an amazing tapestry above the bed, and all of these really, really cool windows that shoot out. Okay, I'm already out of breath. We're working with it. And then we have to continue up the stairs. I hear people coming down. This is a one-way, guys. Okay, so I'll go up to the next bedroom. I believe this is the primary bedroom because it has a bathroom, but you can actually really see the stone down the walls, or the ceilings are all curved, and even the light fixture. So, so cool. And they have robes everywhere just to make it even more. And then they have this kind of frightening crib, which I'm not loving. And all the robes back there. It really does feel like I'm in like Game of Thrones, or like all of these medieval shows that I love. Okay, and then we're gonna continue up the stairs, and they become wood. That's all. They're all stone going all the way down. But the stairs are a little bit easier to climb. Okay, so this is probably one of the coolest rooms. This is the great room, which is ridiculous. Look at this beautiful long table, more tapestries, these incredible couches. It's like ridiculous. And then there's a whole walkway above. So this is where we'll probably be spending much of the night. And again, more swords. I'm not too sure what the story is there. And then all of these little doors on the side all go into different bathrooms. We are approaching the highest point. We have to get back out on the stairs. Okay, and there's another actually quite beautiful bathroom, and I do really love the tub. How cute. And what a view. What a place to take a tub. Okay. Where to next? Oh, and then this is one of the coolest parts. It's very dark here, but there's actually, you can go all the way across and look down into the great room. And also these gargoyles. Loving it. And then this is the part. This is the room that I am aiming for, but we'll see. So this is the attic room, which is stunning. And you can actually see out onto the ramparts over there. kind of, sort of, but it is wild. Now we can head back down. Okay, we are approaching the end, and this is like the room that my brother might have. It's like this stone cellar room. Honestly, it's pretty cool. This has the most medieval vibe. And then you can actually go out onto the ramparts. You can walk all the way down. See down below. And then there's also this slightly precarious, I'm gonna try to do it, staircase off the side of the ceiling that leads up to the highest point of the entire thing. So yes, that is the castle. My mind is blown. Like, this is a dream come true. I know I will never experience something like this again. I know that like this is the peak of my existence, and I'm so excited. My dad is going to live all of his wildest dreams. He's also obsessed with medieval history. He was actually a history major like myself, because you can do much more with a history degree than become a teacher, guys. There's a lot of options out there. So we both absolutely love this kind of stuff. We love studying this stuff. We love experiencing it. So it's a dream come true, and I'm gonna have the best time with my wee little family, and I'm so happy. It's probably one of our, you never know, but it's probably one of our last family vacations without significant others. One of the last. And my brother's 8 years younger than my sister and 5 years younger than me, so we are really cherishing these moments, because I miss my people, and we all live, in different places now, and guys, I'm in bliss. I'm in heaven. I'm such a nerd, and this is like everything I could have ever dreamed in my life. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour, and I'm going to go drink some Smitherwicks and have some gummies. Oh, there's Dad climbing the ramparts. Dad, what are you doing? It's pretty neat. How did you get down there? I got out the other side. Okay. They have pretty epic bookshelves in this great room. First, they have a lot of English history. The Plantagenets, the White Queen, a lot of Philippa Gregory. What else? They have Irish stories and tales. We have the medieval ages and why it matters. What else? Oh yeah. Dad, look at this edition of The Lord of the Rings. That's a great copy. Dad, look at this.
Wow.
Look at that. And then the main event. Wolf Hall. Bring up the bodies. The Mirror and the Light. I'm so tempted to steal this beautiful floppy paperback of The Mirror and the Light. What else we got? Ooh, Medieval Ireland.